And I agree. I agree with him. It made sense. Just like I agree if you tell me Darko Milicic was the better pick for the Detroit Pistons. I understand it.
He wasn't though.
That doesn't mean that it's smart.
But he wasn't.
Very dumb.
You should have picked. They should have picked Melo. That was a bad pick.
Should have picked Michael Jordan.
Listen, you're not gonna convince me that Hakeem Olajuwon in the 1984 draft was a bad pick.
I'm not saying he's a bad pick. He just was not supposed to be picked over Michael Jordan. Period.
Yo, Michael Jordan averaged 30 for his career.
Nigga said, "What does that mean?"
No, I'm not saying it against your point, though. I'm just saying that is nuts.
What did Hakeem average? Get up, man. Oh, crap. I didn't even tell y'all we recorded. I forgot to tell y'all. My bad. Welcome.
I gotta be able to hold on. I'm sorry. I gotta be able to see what's happening. There's no way to see that.
Gosh.
Wait, you were going to start the show?
Oh, the show started.
Come on, boy. I gotta be able to see what's happening. I can't even see.
What you need to see?
I can't see none of the transitions or nothing.
Oh my gosh.
Is that impossible? Is it impossible?
What you mean? Is what impossible? Anything is possible.
Come on, let's see the transition so I know how to prep. There we go.
Now you want to know how to prep. You wasn't ready?
Boom, there we go. And please, Chris
HB
still
the
don't
realtor.
look crazy to you?
You see my name. You see their names. You see who we are. We back. Episode 11. Missing one, but it's cool. This is the one twice over. New 11. All right. Let's get into it.
New 11.
Let's get into it.
Catch me out in traffic, keep it Kyrie when I'm closing up. No one should be talking, keep your eyes on the podium. No one should be talking, yeah, eyes on podium.
Let's jump into it, man. Are Pro-Am games worth it? People getting hurt, bro. Is it worth it? What you think, Chris?
I mean, for the fans, it's worth it. For the franchises, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Bro, like, they just had a game that was, like, hazardous.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you had slippery floors. Imagine LeBron slipped and tweaked his ankle, slipped, and God forbid,
could have been over.
Tore a ligament, something crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's dangerous. It's dangerous. It's very, very dangerous. You're playing with people that are coming from Walmart, the post office. They could come there and go hard any given night. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you are a valuable piece to an organization.
Right.
You are $1 million asset for yourself and organizations, because you still have to make money for yourself, and you're risking, your career by going to these games for free. For the fans, from a fan perspective, I love it. Right. If I'm there, I would want to see whoever. You know what I'm saying? I would want to see the biggest stars, but for an NBA player, it's just not worth it. I mean, especially if you're going to go there and people expect you to play. Like, they expect you to be you. They don't want you going there to lollygag or get cooked. Because you get cooked from being lazy, it's going to be all over that you got.
What happened with the Knicks? They lost their Pro-Am game.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And it's possible that they went there and they were just, they probably weren't playing that hard. They could have been. Maybe they weren't. But I'm just saying, the storyline is the Knicks lost in a Pro-Am game. That's the storyline.
That's the storyline.
Right? So, to me,
that's the only thing that matters.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So, from a fan standpoint, I love it. From a player standpoint, it doesn't make any sense. You're putting your career at risk, and it can be very, very dangerous at times. Very dangerous. How y'all feel about it? Tony, how you feel?
No, like, I think you hit on a lot of points there. For the fans, it's great, right? You get to see some players that you'll probably never, ever get to see, that close, right? Because you gotta understand they're playing in a lot like college, high school gyms, so it's a lot more intimate than being in an arena like an NBA gym. So I think that's dope, but just to think, you got all those people slammed in the gym, gyms humid, no ACs, court is getting slippery. It's just not safe for anybody. What I found interesting is during this time the NFL preseason is going on, but Pro-Am games are getting nationally televised.
It's preseason though.
Oh, so the NFL preseason don't matter. You rather see the guys from Walmart and Home Depot play against LeBron.
I rather see Chet Holmgren against LeBron. You know what I mean? I rather see the number 1 overall pick.
That's that. I just think that I thought that was interesting. I'm like, wow, everyone's really watching and talking about this game, and the whole NFL preseason is going on.
Bro, it's on the NBA app. You click the NBA app and you go straight and you go watch the Pro-Am game. Like it's
crazy.
That's nuts. It just shows you like where the NBA is at, just as far as media control.
That's the LeBron effect.
That's the LeBron effect.
If we want to be honest about it, that's the LeBron effect.
It is definitely the LeBron effect. I mean, the man's been the face of the NBA for a whole generation.
Yeah,
that's like Drake getting on your song. It's up.
Yeah.
It's up. Right?
It's up after that.
It's up after that.
You don't go anywhere else but up after that.
It's just crazy. What it did show me this Pro-Am game was Seattle need a team.
Yeah.
Seattle need a team.
Seattle's one of those cities where they get it rocking over there. They get it rocking. Their fan base is that line outside. Some dude lined up as soon as he got the alert. He went out there with his tent and was out there ready.
He was out there. He probably had Crawford, Jamal, notifications. He probably hacked his phone.
That's a good point. Like just that level of appreciation for the game. I think growing up in a major city, you don't see that in New York. You bring LeBron to New York, they're like, oh, all right, cool. We'll be at Gaucho's gym like 2 hours before he come, 3 hours before he come. Seattle, them not having a team, like those guys is like, wait, LeBron's coming?
Yeah.
All right. You bringing all these guys with you?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we're gonna line up like it's a new pair of Jordans or something coming out. You know what I'm saying?
They gotta figure out where they're gonna start having these games though. It can't just be if they're gonna do it, it's gonna have to be in a facility that can house it. I would say, but at the same, I would say, I don't know. I would say like it. You don't want the games getting stopped in the middle of the game, right? You don't want that. You don't want stoppage. Who wants 2 quarters?
That's not good. I couldn't imagine being in that arena that day, and at halftime the game has to be canceled because of hazardous conditions inside of the gymnasium.
Yeah.
You have to. I feel like for an event of that magnitude, and what it's going to bring, I feel like you have to get a facility that can support that many people.
That's like showing up to a free J. Cole concert and it shut down. or like you remember when I don't know if y'all was in the Seaport, when Drake had the
concert, he never came.
Concert and he never came.
Boy, people were throwing chairs.
Hey, if you was in New York City around that time, you was in the Seaport. You was there. You was there because you couldn't go nowhere without hearing Successful or Best I Ever Had on the radio. You was at the Seaport climbing on cabanas.
I remember people finish their regions, went straight down to the train station. I was going there. Crazy.
But yeah, man.
Yeah. I think I honestly think they should keep it in like the same format. I think it's authentic. It feels good.
Yeah, it does.
Even though they had to shut it down, I'm like, I get it, bro. Because if there weren't NBA players in the gym, they playing with a slippery court. I promise you. Yeah. But it's just because you got so much money on the court and You know, it's being televised and things like that. I get it 100%. But I think it just feels so authentic.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
those
Now,
guys
I
going
agree.
into those gyms.
I agree with what Tony said too. It's more intimate. Like you get a front row ticket for free. Like you in a front row, even if you got to stand up. LeBron makes a layup, he could run right into you by accident. Like you right next to him.
But there was a dude that was on a layup line, and he had the camera out on LeBron. I'm like, yo, bro, back up, bro, take it easy.
Right.
But it's hard. That's the GOAT right in front of you. You want to bet the GOAT?
Watch your mouth.
That's dope. I would like to see a game at Rucker Park.
They be I mean
they do that every year. They do that every year.
Rutgers
you bring
respected
LeBron
for a
and them
reason.
to Rucker. That's dope.
Right? Yeah. Kobe went to Rucker. KD went to Rucker.
New York. You have a
The
whole
last
quarter
time
of New York
LeBron
City out there.
When LeBron went to the Rucker to play, went in the Jay-Z versus Fat Joe, it was a blackout. New York City blackout, I believe. I don't know if it was a New York City blackout, but they had a blackout. I remember. I just don't remember if it was the same day. But
it was.
I remember when LeBron pulled up.
Yeah, and he was in the van, in the bus.
Yo, Rucker different, man. Rucker different. I remember I seen KD, Harden. They all pulled up just to watch.
That's not crazy.
I thought they were gonna play. No, I think Harden might have played once, and either Dykeman or one of them. I know Mike Beasley played before. I seen Tyreek Evans play.
Yeah,
J.R. Smith.
J.R. Smith had a legendary night, right?
Yeah, he like threw it off the backboard, dunked it. Everybody.
Yeah, I remember everybody talking about that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right, man. Let's get into this beef that they talking about. Kyrie Irving or Damian Lillard. Are they superstars? Who's a superstar? Taylor Brooks, in an interview with Jason Tatum was like, he's not a superstar. Damian's not a superstar, but Kyrie's a superstar.
Wow.
What you how you feel about that? I'm not even gonna start with you, Tone. I'm gonna start with Chris on this one. I'm not. I see it in your eyes.
That's tough.
Toe look hungry. He's hungry.
Go ahead, Chris.
I mean, for me, it's simple, but it's not simple. I'm going with Dame Dollars. I feel like they're both superstars, but I feel like Dame doesn't get enough credit, especially with this Kyrie and Dame talk. Yeah. You know, even when you look at the head-to-head, they played head-to-head. They played 11 games. Dame has won 7 out of the 11 games. Kyrie's won 4. Right? Dame has averaged 28.7, 5 rebounds and 7 assists against Kyrie, while Kyrie averaged 25.9, 2.7 boards and 5 assists. You know, I just feel like Dame doesn't get enough credit. He impacts winning, I think, from a way larger standpoint than Kyrie. I feel like people don't understand Kyrie has played with LeBron James and Kevin Durant. There's no one on this planet that nearly comes close to those two players as it is. And Damian Lillard has not played with either one. So to say Dame is not a superstar, and he's been in the playoffs consistently every single year, obviously last year, due to injuries, their team had an off year. He was injured. He had to get something straightened out with his abdominal. But every year, consistently, he has dragged the Portland Trail Blazers to the playoffs.
That's fine.
He went into the bubble when we had we still in it, but you know, when COVID happened, he went into the bubble, and you saw a man on a mission. Like, he was dominating, like 60-point games, pulling up from half court. One of his 60-point games came on were on Kyrie in 2019. So, like, I just feel like, again, to one of your points, Dom, that you always say also too is, you know, availability is an ability.
That's
you know
true.
What I'm saying? Like, he's
that's true.
Dame is here. He's always there to play. He plays games consistently throughout the season every year. Obviously, besides this year, he got it straightened out. He said he's 100%. You know it's goal time for him next year. So
I got them in the playoffs. I got them in the playoffs just because of Dame, because he's going to play.
absolutely,
And when Dame
that's what I'm
plays,
saying.
they're in the playoffs.
Every year. So how you feel about the topic, Dom? How you feel?
I feel like Kyrie is overrated. I think that's what this is showing. I feel like this is showing how overrated he is. Like,
okay,
he's a superstar talent, a Hall of Fame talent. You know what I mean? But I don't think when it's all said and done, you look at his, like, what he's actually produced on the court as far as in production, it's not going to match up to the top point guards in his era. It's not going to. When it's all said and done, Russell Westbrook is going to accolades is going to be higher and more than Kyrie's. Dame's same, right? Like, there's a bunch of guards in his era that he's not James, like Harden. Like, it's a bunch of guards in his era that you won't say that he can take me to the promised land. Like, nah, like
right.
I'm gonna pick those other guards before I pick Kyrie. Kyrie's an awesome 2. You know what I mean? He's an awesome 2. That's what he is. Dame is a best player on the championship team, in my opinion. He could be the best player on the championship team.
I agree.
He's never played outside of LaMarcus Aldridge his first 3 seasons, right? He hasn't played with an all-star.
Right.
Period. None. Not one. No all-stars. Kyrie's played with nothing but.
Right.
Like, it's the talent level is different. As far as the team that the players that they played around, that Dame played with, the teams that he had to drag, it's nasty.
Yep.
It's just crazy.
On his back.
I mean, again, Kyrie is amazing at what he does. Like, watching Kyrie play basketball is beautiful. But
beautiful.
I can't in good conscience be like, Kyrie. I honestly don't think he's a superstar. I think a superstar is a player that can take you single-handedly to a playoff, win a playoff series, win 2. Right. That's a superstar. That's somebody that you can stamp your organization on. There ain't that many of them that can go win 2 playoff series for you. Dame can. Right. He's done it.
50-point game winning series enders.
He's done it. Am I tripping, Tone? Am I tripping?
Yo, you know Tone ready. You know he's ready.
Listen. Let me just say this. I think you guys are right. I think there was a little bit of disrespect on HB's part, superstar piece. I agree.
I don't think he's a superstar.
Kyrie's definitely a superstar, right?
How?
But here's Dame. Let me just. So Dame, right? Last 3 seasons, obviously he didn't play last year, but the 3 seasons that he did play. Let me just give you guys some of his like game highs, right? 61, 11 threes, 10 rebounds. 61, 9 threes, 8 assists. 60 points, 7 threes. 55 points, 12 threes, 10 assists. 51 points, 12 assists, 9 threes. 50 points, 13 assists. Assists is when you're passing it to someone else and they score, just so that you guys know. And he's having 50 on top of that. 45, 12 assists, and 11 3-pointers. Like, I was going through this, and I'm like, is this like the best game of the season?
Yeah.
Like, these numbers sound fake a little bit.
2K-ish.
I forgot he hit 12 threes. This guy had a 55, 12, 3, and 10 assist game, right? All right, those are just some of the numbers for Dame last 3 seasons that he was available to play, right? Few things with Kyrie, just to piggyback over AGB point. Kyrie's played with LeBron James. He's played with Kevin Love. He's played with Jason Tatum. He's played with Jaylen Brown. He's played with Kevin Durant. He's played with James Harden. I don't think there's anyone in the NBA, maybe LeBron, maybe
I play
LeBron,
with
but
a
no
bunch
one
of
else
better players.
that's played with better play. Actually, I don't think LeBron's played with a better like group
Nah,
of
LeBron
players
played with
like
better
that.
players. He did. He did. He did.
But Kyrie's played with all of those greats, right? Kyrie's career win percentage without LeBron, 204 out of 224. So he's less than 50% winning, right? So this is why I kind of support that. You know, is he a superstar? Isn't he a superstar? Does he impact winning? Obviously, his percentage shows otherwise because he's less than 50%. Dame, for his career, 395 out of 316. He's over 50%, right?
Wins.
And that number that I gave you for Kyrie is without LeBron, right? Because we know LeBron impacts winning. LeBron's a winner. They got a championship with LeBron, but it's just those numbers are eye opening because he did play with Jason Tatum. He did play with Jaylen Brown. He did play with KD. He did
Devil's
play with
advocate
James Harden.
though, he played with a young Jason Tatum, and James Harden gave up, and he didn't play that much with James Harden because of COVID, the whole COVID thing. So they didn't play that many games together. I don't because of injuries and his availability, but so I would say that in defense of Kyrie. But I honestly don't think he's a superstar. I don't think it's not many superstars in this league. I think you have Giannis, KD, LeBron, Steph, Luka, Dame. Am I missing somebody?
Paul?
Chris Paul's not
Chris
gonna
Paul.
go win me two playoff series anymore. Sorry. Like it has to be.
I get it.
You know what I mean? Like
Joel Embiid, Joker.
Nick.
We're talking about superstars, right?
Yeah,
Who
Joel
would win you
Embiid,
a
Joker.
series?
I don't want to be disrespectful. Joel Embiid, yeah, back to back MVP.
I was about to say you can't say
you can't and not be a superstar, right?
But here's
that's
the thing.
contradictory.
Here's the thing to add to that. I think Kyrie can go win you a series. I've seen him do it.
He can go win you a series.
I don't think that he can do it by himself, but then again, what superstar can?
Those
right?
that I just named.
None of those players you just named have won a championship or a series by themselves.
Yes, Dame has. Dame got to Western Conference Finals with no All-Stars.
He has CJ McCollum on his team.
He's not an All-Star. Never been.
Okay.
Right. It adds to the context, right?
Okay.
It adds though. It adds to the context, right? Like
that matters.
LeBron's done it.
When?
LeBron's done it mad times.
When?
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
No,
Don't do that.
No,
LeBron James has taken teams.
LeBron went straight to the NBA Finals after Kyrie
Bro, he
left.
been there 10 times back to back. Stop.
But I'm asking you.
You're saying when?
Was he on the team with other All-Stars?
The year that he took when they traded Kyrie Irving and
I think Love was still there. I don't think he was All-Star.
I don't think he was an All-Star.
I would have to look that up.
But the year that he took when Jay Crowder I don't remember that team.
That was probably that year.
No, it's okay. I think
when they took Boston to 7, when Boston took them to 7 games.
Okay.
That year.
We can reference and see if there was any All-Stars on that team. But most of those players that you named all had supporting casts.
Jokic doesn't.
When has what series has Joker won by himself?
Last year when he was in the bubble. Didn't he win in the bubble?
Okay.
Yes. Jamal Murray was going crazy.
Yeah, it's fine. But listen, Kyrie's definitely a superstar. Kyrie's not a superstar,
bro.
He's not a leader.
He's not a superstar.
Before Kyrie went to Boston, they had a player by the name of Isaiah Thomas. Boston Celtics were knocking on the door. You trade Isaiah Thomas for Kyrie Irving, you think, oh, he's going to get us over the hump. Negative. Wasn't able to do so.
No, but
So
they end up going to the Eastern Conference Finals without him while he was injured. And then he came back the next year and everything was disrupted, right?
Yeah.
Right. And then he left.
He's a bad leader.
And then he went somewhere else to Brooklyn, and then they went to the second round with KD, and then he got hurt.
He's a bad leader. He's a bad leader for sure. I'm taking Dame. I'm taking Dame 10 out of 10 times. What I know I'm gonna get from Dame is Dame's gonna show up to work. Dame's gonna put my team in a position to be in the postseason, and that's all I can ask for as a coach and an ownership. Something that I don't hear enough from anybody. If Dame played in New York, he would probably be the best player of all time.
Yo, if Dame played in New York City, bro. If Damian Lillard played in New York City, bro.
Yeah. Easy. Dame he's doing all of that out of Portland with a team that ownership is putting around him. Like
you don't even get national televised games.
Right. He gets overlooked so much for being important because he's important.
I agree.
He don't have a few All-Stars because of that. He's missing All-Star appearances because he plays in Portland.
Yep.
I agree.
That's crazy.
Because his loyalty. Endorsements, deals, all of that stuff is a part of it. And, Kyrie's had the luxury to have those televised games, to play in those big markets, to be backed by those big companies because of the media.
Right. Cleveland was not on TV until LeBron came back.
Right.
Facts. Facts. But I don't want to disrespect Kyrie's game. He's an amazing player.
No, for sure.
I don't think he's a superstar.
Well, let me ask you guys this. Let's dissect that a little bit. I think that he is a very talented player. What we like about Kyrie is that he has very good handles. Right? Let's just be honest. That's what we like about him.
Yeah.
Outside of that,
finish
he
at the rim.
So can Dame.
Yeah, I mean,
Dame's a better shooter, and I don't want to just make it a Dame thing. There's a lot of players that we can go down the list that you like Kyrie because he can dribble the ball really nice.
Right.
Outside of that,
that's what I say too. Again, Kyrie game is
a lethal
beautiful,
scorer,
and that's what people fall in love with, the beauty of his game. It's beautiful from every single standpoint of his game. It is beautiful. Kyrie's game looks flawless. When you watch him play, you're just in awe. Yeah. I think what it is his leadership skills. I think that's the problem. Kyrie's not a leader. He doesn't lead in the right ways, and that's a locker room chemistry thing. How can your team be great if your best player, most talented player, is not a good leader? How can you win like that? So everybody's gonna follow suit from the best player.
Yep.
So if your best player is not displaying that leadership, how are we gonna be great? How?
Facts.
Wow. So I think that's Kyrie's issue.
I think if you put Kyrie in Portland with the circumstances that Dame's had, we don't talk about Kyrie as much as we do. He dribbles very nice. There's a lot of players in the league who dribbles there's a lot of players who have nice handles as well. He can finish. There's a lot of players who can do that. What Dame does, there's not a lot of players who can do that.
All right.
55-12. Oh my gosh.
That's just
how you getting 10 assists and scoring 60?
It's funny when I saw that he had 60 on the Nets. I said I had to go look just to make sure Kyrie was there. It said Kyrie 60. It said Dame 60. Kyrie had 55 on Dame earlier in their career when Dame was a little younger. Kyrie had a big game on Dame. But recently,
don't do that. Don't say Dame was a little younger. Just say
he was.
earlier.
He was. Early in the career.
Yeah.
It was I believe it was probably no, I'm saying
I know, but you gotta frame it right. You gotta think.
You're right. But recently, 2019, that matchup, Dame went for blood.
That's
right.
Yeah,
he wanted everybody to know what time it was.
Yeah, for sure. He's like, I'm here. I'm top point guard.
Yeah.
Right, talking about Kyrie. Y'all about to know who Dame is after tonight.
All right, man. Let's jump into Some
New York City.
some other news here. New York City. They saying the Jazz want more from the Knicks, man. I seen Mark Berman has said that they had denied OB, Evan Fournier, 5 first-round picks, 2 were unprotected. For Donovan Mitchell. So I mean, golly, man, why hasn't the trade happened already, man? Like,
well, clearly the Jazz want the house for Donovan Mitchell. They're not going to be willing to give up Donovan Mitchell if they're not getting back a lump sum. It's a lot. Obi, Fournier, and 5, 2 unprotected. I feel like that's enough for Donovan Mitchell. In my opinion. Not even like just being biased for the Knicks. I'm just saying, like, that's a lot. What has Donovan Mitchell really done for him to be that valuable to demand that much?
it's crazy.
This is all Rudy Gobert's fault.
Some Rudy Gobert, boy. It gotta be. It's all Rudy Gobert.
It's
Like,
Rudy Gobert's fault.
5 picks. I mean, I also heard, Tone, that the trade hasn't happened yet because Utah can't trade the players they got from the T-Wolves until August 30th.
Correct. I think that's really what's holding a lot of this up. I think they're just waiting because those players are going to get shipped off again. Yeah, they all in LA just chilling right now. They probably gonna get shipped to one of those teams. All subliminal messages. Pat Bev been playing with PG out with Rico over the weekend, so they,
Who's there too? Malik Beasley is there too?
I think Beasley was out there too. I wouldn't be mad seeing Pat go back to the Clippers. Honestly, I really wouldn't be upset to see that. But
I mean, how you got John Wall there? You got John Wall and Reggie Jackson. He's not going back to the Clippers.
I don't know.
Be on go. I can see him going to LA.
I can see him going to the
Lakers.
Yeah,
Lakers. Lakers would
like,
be nice too.
Clippers is in LA too. You know what I mean.
And Pat Bev wants to play with LeBron.
I think so.
He wants to play with LeBron.
I think so.
For me, like the Jazz, they've won the offseason to me. They that Rudy Gobert trade set them up for a long time. And I think they could get the same thing for Donovan Mitchell. It don't got to be the Knicks. And here's the problem. They know that the Knicks want Donovan Mitchell at all costs. So now it's just the media controlling what's happening. You know what I'm saying? Soon you're going to see another like a mystery team get in the mix that's really not in the mix. And it's going to force the Knicks to give up everything. Right. They're going to give up everything.
And that's what we did. That's what you don't want.
That's
what you don't want.
Right.
You can't give up your entire core and your youth for Donovan Mitchell. You cannot do that.
Cannot. And Leon, please, if you're listening, I hope you listen. Don't do it, bro. Don't
worry. We're going to cut this clip just for him.
Please, Leon. Leon. We're on a first name basis, Leon. Leon.
This is HB coming at you.
HB, bro. Don't do it. Do not trade the farm, please. Don't. We need to eat.
It's not worth it.
Not worth it. He's not an all NBA player.
You know what's interesting too? I don't think there's a lot of teams probably calling the Jazz about Donovan Mitchell. Just because of that, I don't think. Like, what does he do for your franchise? Does he put you guys? Does he really put you guys over the hump?
Right.
It depends what team you are, though, right? Like, if
the team.
If I'm
Miami, yes.
Yeah. If I'm Miami, I go get him.
But what do you give up for him? That's what I'm saying. I was like, it doesn't.
Like, what do they have to give up? If I'm Miami, I will go holler at them. If I'm the Grizzlies, I go holler at them.
What do you give up?
I give up Dylan Brooks and Bane.
Oh my gosh, I don't think
Nah.
I'm
That's bad
doing
trade.
that.
Bad trade.
I don't think
I'm
I'm
not
doing
doing
that.
that. Not doing
That's a
Bane
bad
is a
trade.
problem, and
Are they
Brooks
better
is a
than Donovan
defensive.
Mitchell though?
Yo, bro, it's more than it's chemistry. I'm not messing up that Grizzlies chemistry that they got
Nah.
right now to bring in Donovan Mitchell, like who's gonna bring me only a one dimension of the game, and that's scoring. That's all he's gonna bring.
It's so crazy too because coming out of college, he was known as a defensive player. That's what's crazy.
Right. And I said it. It's probably
Probably
like
probably
Henny's
coaching.
like you're right. That's what I remember Henny had said it. I believe it was either last episode or the episode before. It's probably coaching. They're probably just forcing everybody to go straight to Rudy Gobert. You know, there's no way a Donovan Mitchell's size, with his size, athleticism, and strength, that he cannot be an elite level defender. There's no way. There's just no way.
He should be able to stay in front of people.
Donovan Mitchell was a football player.
Looks like it.
He was a football player.
Yeah.
He was a football player.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it again. He looked like it.
Yeah, like so it's I don't know, man. There's no way he can't be an elite level defender.
I'll tell you one thing for sure. I'm not giving up RJ. I'm not doing it. Just for a simple fact of this is gonna sound stupid, but just because of the fans. Like, he was drafted here. He was our highest pick. I mean, if you get Donovan Mitchell, we're not gonna get a higher pick than the third pick. He's our highest pick. I mean, and I think he's homegrown. Obi, homegrown. Quickly, homegrown. Grimes, homegrown. I feel like those players should be off untouchable in a trade like this. I would trade picks. I would get rid of Rose if need be. He got the 13 mil. Fournier I would get rid of. But not the players that I've been drafting. Not the players that I've been drafting with like Leon and Tibbs working together to draft. Right? Like, you got your players. You got your kind of players, Tibbs. You're gonna trade them? I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah,
I don't think it's worth it.
Not worth it. I feel like the Knicks are building something special, and then just to give away all your assets just like that.
I mean, people are saying like if OB, Quickly, Grimes, none of these players are gonna be all-stars, then why not give them up for a bona fide all-star? And my thing is like camaraderie, chemistry, right? Like, those players are together all the time. Like, that in itself is gonna breed W's, right? Like, they're gonna want to ball for each other, right? Like, they have a bond. I think you should keep that. You should keep that. It's important. Like, anytime you watch these NBA players talking about, organizations, they always talking about the chemistry. Always talk about the chemistry. They always talking about off the court playing cards and boo-ray, whatever the case may be. They be playing and gambling, whatever the case may be, and they talk about those things. That's important. And I feel like you drafted these players. I would try to just Golden State it. So you can't. I would just see what happens.
Develop, man.
Develop.
Get them. Develop.
Just develop. I mean,
RJ, that chemistry would just build over the years. Like, you learn each other's habits. You learn where all your players are most effective. Your teammates know where you're most effective. They know how to put you in the best positions together. That's the thing about building. That's why Golden State is the way they are. Like, they built that.
Exactly.
So, let me ask you guys a question, because I haven't heard this anywhere. Why do you think Utah's tanking?
Danny Ainge just got there, right? He got there last year or something like that. And he just got the coach.
What would you say what would you say if they're actually acquiring assets to build a team around Donovan Mitchell? They have all the assets.
Got a lot of like if they send those picks to go get like a KD or something.
Oh my god.
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically,
they use those
I would.
picks to go get a number one player, and now you low key have a championship team because you got role players, you got solid role players, and
Superstars.
you have a 1 and a 2.
You could get more than just KD for that draft haul that they got from Minnesota, and you probably don't have to give up all of that. You still got Jordan Clarkson you can get rid of. You got Mike Conley. There's players that
That's not a bad idea.
There. Yeah, I was just thinking about that. I'm like, well, maybe they don't have to trade Donovan Mitchell. Would you there's a lot of teams I think that if I called them and I'm like, hey, you got to disrun. Oh, if you're the Washington Wizards midway through the year and you're not winning anything, and I call you and I'm like, yo, I got these draft picks. Send me Bradley Beal. They're building a young team down there.
I think they
draft
need more of like
this year.
I think
Bradley Beal just signed a long-term contract. So the reason that we're helping Utah is because Utah has a history of not being able to sign players.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. I'm not mad at that.
Do I think Danny Ainge will do that? No, I don't. But
I'm not mad at that. I mean, because look, you have a lot of role players. That's actually really good. Jordan Clarkson is a 6-man a year, right? Yeah, he's an asset.
He's a bona fide bucket.
Malik Beasley as well can get you a bucket.
3-and-D.
And he's young. 3-and-D.
Vanderbilt. The young piece.
They got a lot of young pieces, and
the
only person they got rid of was Gobert, who everyone was saying was the problem.
That's true.
So,
what if they're actually trying to just now with the young coach?
I mean, they did the same thing with. They do. They got a really young coach, but as I'm thinking about it, I mean, we discussed the Buddy Hield and Miles Turner trade. I mean, what does it take for me to call? Like, any trade that you're gonna do with LA, like, why can't Utah make that same phone call? Like, hey, I see that your guy wants to Portland. If Dame midseason is like, yo, get me out of here, who got the best deal to go get Dame?
Right.
Utah?
Dame ain't going to Utah.
I mean,
he's not leaving Portland or Utah.
But here's the thing: if I'm Utah, I'm giving Portland everything because Dame just signed a contract. So I got Dame for like 5 years. You give me Dame and Mitch, and I give you all of my draft picks, and I just exchanged Gobert for Dame.
I would hope Portland will respect him enough to not send him there though. I would hope
Siberia.
So. Business.
I would really hope they respect him enough because if Dame leaves Portland, Dame has to be put on a championship contending team no matter what. He's going wherever it is to win now if he leaves there. Dame is not going to go anywhere. He's walking in the locker room and he sees a bunch of G Leaguers.
I don't think Utah.
He's not doing it. He's not doing it. He's not going to accept that. He's going to want out of there.
What if you get a call from D Wade?
What?
D Wade's a part of ownership there.
Say what?
I don't know. I don't know what that. I don't know what that.
What is he saying?
I don't know what that talk could be like. I don't know what that talk could be like. But if it's like, yo, come out to Utah, you and Donovan. I don't know. Like I'm saying here, and I'm like, yo, Utah had the best offseason to me. They had the best offseason to me. They acquired a bunch of assets, and they still have arguably their best player. Right?
But who would you pair Donovan Mitchell with?
I can pair him with anybody. I have everything. I would
go get like Siakam. I would go get like Siakam.
If you're Toronto, do you tell me no if I'm trading you draft picks for Siakam? I don't think that's a great pickup, actually.
Yeah, I don't know. I would go get Siakam.
Siakam's an NBA champion, boy. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I think that's a great.
Might
I'm
be a
thinking
solid
about all
pickup.
the teams that I could see having a bad first half of the season, and then the team starts panicking. So I could see the Wizards being one of those teams. I could see Toronto having a bad first half, and they start panicking.
Nah, they got Scotty Barnes. They'll be all right.
Yeah, I was honestly thinking the same thing, and then I thought about it. I'm like, they really have a superstar in the making over there.
But
Like,
Scotty Barnes,
Scotty-
I would
Pascal
trade.
Siakam,
I would
and
trade
OG.
Siakam. I would trade Siakam, right? Because I have Scotty Barnes. I would keep OG. Bucket.
Will you keep
Griffin?
OG? Can I get
I don't know.
OG and Siakam if I give you my draft picks?
OG and Siakam? No. Absolutely.
I think I would keep Siakam and send OG.
I mean, because
I would too.
OG need OG want a contract, but you want to. But if you the Jazz, you kind of want
Someone already in a long-term contract.
Yeah, you. What if they go get like Jason? I was gonna say Jaylen Brown. That wouldn't make sense. What would they trade for Jaylen Brown? They wouldn't. They need a one really. Who's a one? How many ones we have in the league? They need
They need
a
a
one.
point.
They
They need a
got
point
Conley
guard?
No,
right
I'm saying
now.
a number one player. They need
They
a
need a number one player.
Yeah.
Player. Point guards, that list is short.
Super short. Like, who would you
Right.
pair Donovan Mitchell up with? Like, so let's just say you got Pat Bev, Donovan Mitchell starting. Like, I don't know the rest of their team. They lineup.
I would go get KD and call it a night.
Yeah, go get KD. But the Nets want Donovan Mitchell.
All they want.
The Nets want Donovan Mitchell.
But yeah, I would hang up with them, man. He's probably not the person to do it.
The Nets want Donovan Mitchell. I mean,
I honestly, bro, like really, I feel like Bradley Beal or Damian Lillard's gonna be available halfway through the season.
yeah,
They got their
Yeah.
contract. They like, bro, I want to win at this point. And I think Dame deserves it. Dame deserves the most.
I thought Brad was crazy for signing back with Washington because I just don't see the direction they're going in. But I believe he's gonna want out sooner than later. Like,
Go
he's
get him.
gonna want out soon.
I'll take my chances with Brad and Donovan.
I'll trade Portland 7 picks for Damian Lillard.
If I'm Brad, I want to go to the Lakers. If I'm Bradley Beal.
Yeah, but it's no way.
Yeah, you don't got a choice like that.
Possible.
You don't got a choice like that, baby. you go into wherever I get the best offer, and the Jazz have the best offer.
Wow. That's not happening. That's not happening.
That's why I feel like he was crazy for signing. But you also got to think these players need to put themselves in the best position to take care of themselves and their families.
But that's what was the most important thing.
Right. So, they got to get that back. He wasn't getting that back anywhere else.
No.
I like that. I don't think that. I think the Jazz are going to do something. I don't think they're going to trade Donovan.
That's the hot take.
That's the hot take.
The hot take is that Tony don't think they're going to trade Donovan. That's a hot take. All right. Since we talking about hot takes, let's do over and under season wins for the Knicks, man.
Okay.
Last season they were 37. What do you guys think? Over or under? What do you think?
So you have the next one. You said 37 games.
Mm-hmm.
37, right? 37, 45. Okay. I have the Knicks at 45 wins next year.
45?
Definitely over the 37. 45 wins next year.
Last season they had 30. They went 37 and 45.
45. Yep.
So that's what 3, 5, 8 games under 500.
Mm-hmm.
And for you to get into the play-in last season, you had to win at least. You had to at least be 10 games over 500. So everybody that was the top 6 seeds was at least top 10 games over 500. 46. I got the Knicks winning 47 games.
47?
47.
You want to tell us a little bit about that?
A little bit about what?
Elaborate, my boy.
Yeah. What makes you think that?
Jalen Brunson. I think worst case scenario, I think his leadership is gonna shine through. His steadiness is gonna shine through. And Tom Thibodeau's coaching, which we forget how great of a coach he is. Yes, I hate his rotations. Absolutely hate it. But at the same time, we're talking about the coach of the year 2 years ago, right? Like we always talking about Julius Randle and Tom Thibodeau being an issue, but Tom Thibodeau inherited Julius Randle. Julius Randle was there before Tom. Tom came the year that he was a All NBA player, right? So I feel like we have to remember those type of things. I think that's what I think. And I also think that the players is going to take another step. RJ has been a better player every single.
Yeah. We already know he's going to be there.
Yeah,
he's going to be there next year.
Hopefully.
Nah, he's going to be there. He's going to be there. RJ is he works. He works hard, man.
Yeah,
he's a hardworking kid. He's been like that since high school. He's been working. I'm sure before high school, but I'm talking about from when I've seen him play. He's been working. And again, he's steadily improved. He steadily improves every single year.
The keys.
I don't know where you going with this one. Like,
I don't know about IQ, but for me, I got the Knicks winning 30 games next year.
What?
Oh.
Yeah, I think the Knicks are gonna be in that 30-35 range.
35? You think we lose?
Here's why. Who are they gonna be better than? Right? You got Milwaukee, you got Boston, you got Miami, Philly. The teams that I expect for them to really battle with, but these teams I'm taking over them. The Atlanta Hawks, I'm taking over the Knicks. The Toronto Raptors, I'm taking over the Knicks. The Chicago Bulls, I'm taking over the Knicks. And I didn't even mention the Brooklyn Nets. So, like, where do they,
Bro, that's where we disagree at, right? Because I think there'll be a better team than Chicago next year. I think there'll be a better team. I think the Knicks is gonna be a 6 seed. And they're gonna be better than Chicago. They're gonna be better than the Raptors. Possibly. I'll take the Raptors back. Maybe not the Raptors.
So they still
You thought about Scotty Barnes again.
I did. He's too good. He's too good.
They still wouldn't be good enough to be 6 seed unless you think they'll be better than Atlanta.
Yeah, they'll be better than Atlanta.
That's tough. That's tough.
Yeah, I think they'll be better than Atlanta.
They have an all-star backcourt. They have an all-star backcourt.
Yeah.
DeAndre Hunter.
Not even that. They have all-stars.
Yeah, two
of them.
They do. Jalen Brunson.
We really put in, and I think that's really, you gotta remember, like, whenever we bring stars to New York, they're always like the next coming to MJ for the New Yorkers. Like, they be on the back of the daily newspaper and these outfits that we create for them. Like, it's so much pressure. And then as soon as he has a bad November or a bad December, that pressure, if you're not built for it, it's just over.
Yeah.
He's built for it.
I mean,
He's built for it. His dad played here, coached. He was here. You know what I'm saying? Like he know what New York's about. He's from Jersey. He's from up the block. He know. He know. He's a New York. He's a New Yorker. Like he knows.
Right.
I'm telling you, and he's a winner too. Like I'm drinking the Jalen Brunson tea. Drinking it.
I like it.
So you think?
Drinking it.
So you got them over Atlanta, Chicago, and Toronto.
I got them over Atlanta, Chicago. Toronto is so tough, bro. It's so hard for me to say that, bro. Like,
because I think the top five. I think we probably agree on the top five. You're gonna have Milwaukee, Boston, Miami, Philly, and the Nets for sure.
No.
The Nets, I don't know yet.
Nets, I don't know.
So yeah, so if the Nets is the I don't know team, then maybe the Knicks make it. But that's really counting. That's
Knicks is
a
going
lot
to
has
be
to
the
happen.
6th seed, bro.
The Nets are contingent on keeping that is contingent on them keeping Kevin Durant.
All right.
Do you think without KD and the Nets still keep their team, that the Knicks will have a better record than them?
Oh no, I was talking about the Nets being the 6th seed.
Okay.
I mean, who's to say Miami is a team that's gonna be there? The year before they won 40 games. So who's to say Miami's gonna be there?
Miami got the best coach in the Eastern Conference. I trust that they'll be there.
Saying they may not be top,
but they won 53 games last year. What are we talking about?
Yeah,
right.
What are we talking about? They won 53 games and they weren't even completely healthy.
That was great coaching. They struck gold a couple times though, bro. Max Strus,
Gabe Vincent.
They come on. They struck gold. Pat Riley was in there. Like,
would you be mad if the Knicks was a lottery team this year?
Highly upset.
I would be mad. If I'm not a Knicks fan, but if I'm a Knicks fan, I'd be
highly upset.
Yeah.
Bro, they're not gonna lose. They're not gonna lose less than 37 games. That's disrespectful.
They're not gonna lose less than 37 games? Because you're gonna have to win at least 40 games to make the playoffs.
They upgraded their roster from last year.
What I'm saying.
Which is why I give them the 45. He said
Chicago
45.
Chicago wasn't healthy last year. Atlanta upgraded their roster a lot more than New York did, and Toronto's only gonna be better.
Chicago don't have the depth.
Something else too. People don't give the Knicks enough credit for. They played defense.
Yes, they were a top 10 or 11th team. They were the number 1 team in defense after the All-Star break.
They played defense.
They ended up like in the middle of the pack, either 13th or 13th or 11th. One of those two numbers. I can't tell you, but they were solid, and they're gonna be playing like that all year round. And we had COVID troubles last year too. We can't forget, and we had Kemba Walker, no knees Walker.
Everybody had COVID trouble, so you can't really
matter.
That's valid.
Don't matter.
True. Everybody
That's why we lost a couple games.
Yeah, Kemba definitely cost the Knicks some games last year.
Definitely.
Yeah, he cost them a few games.
When he was playing
crazy
from game 1, when they was playing against Boston, and he had like mad turnovers at the end of that game, we almost lost. I'm like, nah. I was nervous then. I seen it. I'm like, nah. Why are you turning the ball over like that? You're supposed to be an all-star.
Yo, I cannot wait for this season, son.
I can't wait.
God.
Yeah, me neither.
Tony said 30 games. I'm going to hold you to that. I'm going to hold you to that 30 games.
They're going to be just as good as the Hornets. So whatever you think of them. They was a bubble team
last season. 43. I mean, they were better than the Knicks. They were 5 games better than the Knicks.
So, there you go.
They were 3 games. What was it? 4 games above 400, 500.
That's the comp right there. So,
Nah,
Be better than the Hornets, and maybe they'll fall somewhere. But
I think the
all those other
Bulls
teams.
is not. It's not as good as you
what
think.
about Cleveland? What about Cleveland?
Oh
I
my
was hoping y'all didn't
gosh,
say nothing about Cleveland.
bro!
I was hoping. I'm looking at Cleveland like I hope they don't say
Yeah,
anything about
I
Cleveland.
noticed it before. You
I
got my
forgot
boy
about
DG,
Cleveland.
my boy DG,
Bro.
Shifty
Oh my
Garland,
goodness, bro!
Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, Travis LeVert.
The Knicks are going to be between 30 and 35. I promise. I like you just adding teams that I'm like, yeah, it's gonna happen because you know they're gonna go out west and get beat on by everybody.
That's
They're gonna
not
go out west
that
and
may
get
not
beat
be
on
true.
by everybody. So the only chance they got is in the Eastern Conference, and the East look like they're gonna beat on them too.
Oh man,
I don't know,
yeah.
bro.
The Eastern Conference is so tough this year. Oh my goodness.
It is.
It's gonna be tough.
Like I feel like this is the toughest I feel like it's ever been
In a long time.
in a very long time. This is the toughest it's been. When you
Doesn't the
look at
NBA feel
Milwaukee, Philly,
balanced?
it does.
It does. It does. It
It hasn't
does.
felt this balanced in a long time.
It does. There's
I feel
talent
like
everywhere.
right, because it doesn't feel like Golden State just won. You're not going into next season saying
Confident,
like,
100%.
I'm not 100% sure they're gonna win next year.
You don't know who's
Like,
gonna win next year.
When they had KD, it was like, bro, just book it. Next year they're going book their ticket.
Remember
to
when
the NBA
KD was
Finals.
on the podcast with CJ McCollum and he was like, I'm not going to the finals this year. Like, y'all not, what are you talking about? KD was like, CJ, what are you talking about? Like, I'm not even that good. Do you know this? Like, what are you saying? You know what team I play for? Like, I still play in your conference. How can you win? What? That shit was
Valid.
That's hilarious.
That's valid.
Hey, boy, I got no chance.
All right, so I just want to keep this in the books, all right? So Tony got said 30 to 35. When we get closer to the season, we're gonna really lock you in. But you know,
He said 30. He said 30.
He said 30. He did say 30. It's so disrespectful. I want to give him another chance. That's what I was just doing. I was just trying to give him another chance. I don't even know if he wants it.
Nah, Chris added Cleveland. I'm like, bro, I'm standing on that.
Wow,
I know.
all of
those.
That was a dagger.
So we're gonna be worse than last year,
bro. Yes. Unfortunately, it's just the league is so good, bro. Like the league is so balanced. Like New York goes on their West Coast trips. They usually go in like January. They're gonna go in January, February, come back, beat up on, and then they're gonna just be trying to recover.
Nah, we got a West Coast trip in November.
That's I also feel like the hunger this year is gonna be different. Like it's like I feel it now. Like when you look at how hungry Philly about to be, how hungry Boston is about to be, how hungry Milwaukee is about to be. Mm-hmm. Like the hunger I feel right now in the Eastern Conference is going to be
nuts,
insane. Yeah, it's gonna be nuts. It's gonna be nuts. Like
I want to look at. We keep rolling. I just want to take a peek at the Knicks upcoming schedule. I'm gonna string off like at least 5 consecutive losses. Like, ooh, that's tough.
We'll talk tough stretches another day. We'll talk tough stretches another day. I'm looking for this. All right, man. Your man Jason Tatum. It's like, yo, crack wrists. You guys are being mean to me. My hand hurt. You know what I mean? He did the Amari Stoudemire. Fire extinguisher. JK. But he did on the interview with Taylor Rooks, he was talking about how he was playing through injury or whatever the case may be. Like, how do y'all feel about him coming out with that right now? Like after the whole thing. Like, he spoke about hiding his hand before the camera got there or the people got there. He would like hide his hand. Like he would go through measure so people don't notice it. How playing with when he got hurt by Giannis or whatever the case may be, it was really hurting him. Blah blah blah. But so how do y'all feel about that? I'll start with Chris.
Me personally, I just believe if you were gonna hide it from the camera from the beginning, it's like don't say anything. I just feel like it's brought up now because they lost, so it's something to talk about. I was playing through this. Granted, I believe it's not anything that I don't believe.
Right.
But if you were gonna hide it and not bring it up and let us know you were fighting through that injury from the beginning, it's like why bring it up now? Because now it just looks like you're just bringing it
looking
up
for an excuse or something.
Looking for an excuse, right? Like for why you guys lost. I respect him for pushing through. That I respect him. I commend him for fighting through the injury. But to me, like, do you guys feel like it sometimes it hurts your team?
What?
When you play through the injury? Because he struggled. Struggled big time.
Does it hurt your team? I don't think it. Listen, I think it depends on who you are.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
My thing with Jason Tatum, and I want to circle back to that. But my thing with Jason Tatum is the same guy who was wearing the purple and gold Kobe Bryant armband.
Right.
We would never hear Kobe Bryant talking about how he was hurt and how Jason Tatum didn't really say how it affected his performance, but he was saying how he was trying to hide it and all this other. You don't hear that type of stuff from Kobe, right? You lose and then you win.
Right.
There was 2 years ago, Kyle Lowry was playing in the NBA. Was it the NBA? Yeah, I think it was the NBA Finals. He was playing in the NBA Finals with a broken thumb.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's things like that that's like, dude, I understand why you're talking about it. It's the summertime. These interviewers want to get certain topics off and have something to, circle around the internet for discussion. But with that, when you that guy who's wearing that 24 armband, make sure you're wearing it, understanding who you representing with that.
Yeah.
One of those guys who don't complain about anything. Who was it? Was it Kobe who was playing on a torn Achilles?
He didn't play on the torn Achilles, but
he took his free throws.
It was over, but he took a couple free throws.
Come on, bro. That's gangster.
That is gangster.
That is so gangster.
It walked off the court.
Gangster, bro, and walked off the court like a champion. Like, come on.
Like the champion he is.
Right, like the champion he is. Like, it's I don't know. If he didn't do that, maybe I wouldn't either. I was like, oh yeah, that's what every other NBA player does.
But I mean, like, I get it. You know what I mean? As far as in, him having an interview with Taylor and she getting that out of him and they're having that heart to heart. He's like, yo, I was hurting. You know what I mean? Like, that's why essentially why he wasn't up to speed, and he spoke about the cortisone shot that he took and how he lost fat in his arm, his hand, how it's discolored now. You know what I mean? Like, he did a lot to play through it. But I mean, not even a but. I respect it. I respect it a lot. Isaiah Thomas probably would have told him not to do that. The one that played for the Celtics. But at the end of the day, because you play, no one cares. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's hard. No one cares. Like, I get it, but no one cares. I'm pretty sure Marcus Smart was dealing with something, right? Like he was hurt from the Milwaukee Bucks series. Right? I'm pretty sure people were dealing with things. So you know what I mean? You was playing with that
injury too.
He had a what?
He had a couple of things. I think he had like a shoulder injury, some with his ankle.
He had a couple issues. You know what I mean? That I'm pretty sure he can say like, yo, that's why, I could have leave my team, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, you just got to eat that.
Right.
Just have to.
Yeah. Right.
Just have to. Like,
Again, like you said, nobody cares. If you out there, we expect you to perform at the highest level still. Like, no excuses.
Steph Curry did it. You guys, was it game 2 where Al Horford jumped into his ankles? And then Steph got animated because he was like, yo, y'all really not calling no fouls?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like they jumping at his ankles, and I'm like,
yeah.
I was like, the NBA is not gonna let this happen though. So, but Curry came back and had one of the best games of his career, arguably.
Arguably.
After that. So, I mean, I doubt we'll ever hear Curry talk about, things like that, but that's what separates, those from them.
I mean, like, again, I don't want to be too tough on him because he was hurt and he kind of was like talking about it, but
yeah, absolutely. Again, we all said it. We respect it. Like we respect him for being out there. We expect him for trying to do anything he could to get on the court to make sure he played. Like, we respect that 110%.
But at the same time, like you were saying, does that hurt your team? Right? Like, are you hurting your team now?
But it goes back to Toad's point too. Like, it depends who you are. I feel like, and something I did like Tatum. What Tatum did do was he found other ways to impact the game.
Yeah.
Through his injury, right?
Yeah.
We saw him. I think he had like a career high assist one game.
Yeah.
Even though he was struggling from the field, he still found a way to put his imprint on the game, and that's what great players do.
I think that's what he should have continued doing because that's what he should have continued doing, being a decoy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, because he wasn't shooting well. Like for game one, he didn't.
He could go 1 for 15. Nobody's gonna leave him open.
No one's gonna leave him open.
They're not leaving you open.
Nah, they're not.
Yep.
They're absolutely not. But
we respect it.
Yeah, I respect it. I definitely do respect it, 100%. But don't be talking about it because we don't. I care.
You don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear it.
Eyes on Podium Podcast. You just tuned in to episode 11.
Episode 11.
I
was about to go like this and try to see if I had an extra finger. Oh shit! I ran out of fingers.
Episode 11. Henny not here.
You got the sign today.
Got the sign. This is for the H for Henny. It's the H and the 11 for Henny. He's not here. I don't want people thinking I'm doing worship and stuff. But this is 11 people, okay? Spiriters. It's 11. So yeah, man, y'all got anything to say to the people before we get out of here?
Yo, we appreciate y'all. Episode 11. Always remember to comment, like, subscribe. We on Instagram. We on YouTube. We on TikTok. We on Twitter. Follow us. Eyes on Podium Podcast.
I don't read no comments. I don't care what they say. Time and place, we talk about it. Last night I was wildin'. Made 2K over 2K. It's a new day and I'm back to problem. Bank account be crowded. By next June, need 5 rooms, soundproof. Watch them doubt it. Hey, they try to talk me out.
That can hear me?
I done wasted some greatness just sitting there trying to think about it. I go jump a ring, give all of my homies rollies. I'm a hot pick, rolling with me, gon' be low key. Best believe it's more of us, but today I'm dolly. Grab me by the hand, damn, she don't even know me. Open hit the corner for the 3, nobody noticed them. Catch me out in traffic, keep it Kyrie when I'm closing up. No one should be talking, eyes on podium. No one should be talking, keep your eyes on the podium. Yeah. No one should be talking. Eyes on podium. Yeah. Look, open hit the corner for the 3, nobody noticed them. Catch me out in traffic, keep it Kyrie when I'm closing up. No one should be talking, keep your eyes on the podium.